I was just rolling to start the next song.
Yeah, you were.
I was
But
just roiling.
you were just rolling. Rolling.
Oh, are you? Wow! Are you kidding me? Well, the game knows because I just rolled another 19 for another 28.
Alright. You kick up another bad boy tune.
Rousing it up.
Things inside of me make like drum out a little beat for me to strum to. My machinery
Like
clacks together.
You mean a metronome?
Yeah, I get a little internal metronome.
The crowd seems to be almost impatiently waiting for you to start the next song as
I
they're eating it
open
up.
my eyes. I've awakened to the same thing. Start to play.
Alright. And now, finally, the waiters come out with food. The same waiter that came out with the drinks before arrives to your table, Dignan Thatch. He is not looking very happy, but he does have a steaming dish, which is a ham sandwich slapped together.
A little bit of spit in between there.
And he sets it down before you, Dignan. He doesn't quite like drop it like, but he sort of like just before it's about to hit the table, he sort of like just drops it kind of like that. So it's you sort of get the idea that he's not very happy about it, but he doesn't seem outright rude about it. Your dish, sir.
Do I detect passive aggressiveness?
This restaurant's full of buttholes.
He
Don't
says
tell
meekly.
them I said that. Don't tell them. Oh my God, he's still here. Why did nobody tell me he was still here?
I'm sorry, sir. What was that?
I said you were.
Pulses of fire.
He's like struggling to try to find words.
Buddy hole.
Thatch is sort of chewing on the tablecloth, looking between you and the waiter.
Oh look at over there. That guy didn't wash his hands before returning to work.
What? What?
It's happening right behind you. I couldn't make this up.
What? Oh, there's no one behind me, sir.
And then when he turns around, Bigman is gone.
Right, Al, you're gonna need to roll an arcana or roll a.
So down, but baby, it's.
No, I mean like he's gone, but he's just hiding under the table.
All right, you're still gonna have to roll a stealth check.
To see if you bang the table or not.
Here's the thing. That's almost certain. Okay, and the joke is, he's. Let's see if my roll goes along with my joke or if it ruins it.
Make a joke out of what you get. Do improv. I paid for those classes for you.
6.
Perfect.
So, he can obviously see me in like I'm 7 foot. I'm a million pounds.
You just pull the sheet over you. I'm a ghost, don't you know? As you do this, the man who was sleeping on the table just is sort of upended and turned over, and he falls back in his seat. Thatch is no longer able to chew on what he was chewing on, and just sort of sits there, watching this unfold. Oh. Another waiter comes up with a tray that has an old ham bone and sets it before Thatch, looking kind of confused if that's where it was supposed to go. Then she walks off. Thatch
got a bone here.
Madly starts gnawing on it. He doesn't pick it up with his hands. He just grabs it with his mouth and starts tossing it this way and that in the air, growling at it.
Chases his tail.
The waiter who turns back around looks at you, Dignan. He lets out a very, very exhausted sigh and then makes his way back to the kitchen.
I don't think you saw me.
Also, while you do this, you send your sandwich sort of flopping onto the ground.
It's still good. 5-second rule.
5-hour rule, like Ma told me.
Ugh. It's gotta lick off of this stuff. Licking. Nutrients, nutrition. We need
Louis
a pound
C.K.
of dirt in our lives. Better get on it.
All right, and now we're gonna cut to the ones with the vaginas. What are you guys doing?
Well,
I'm
I'm
not-
still playing. Oh! Oh, no one's supposed to know
not
about that.
exactly pertinent to the story right now. I imagine I'm just hanging out outside or whatever, enjoying.
Hey, you could have come in anytime you wanted.
I could have, but I don't think I will. It doesn't really seem like something Bang would be interested in.
I mean, just so you don't forget, we got rooms, we got an observatory, the whole several decks of attractions. You decide.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about heading up to the observatory. I was gonna go check that
You're-
out after I had fully cleaned the cloth that hangs around me.
I've
I
been playing
decided
forever. You
to
could probably
check
be
that
there
out.
by now.
Yeah, it's been a
What?
while, so.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm up there now. Okay, look, I got there. I made it.
All right.
I found it. I'm there.
Sort of
Brought
trudge
it-
up the stairs, sort of burnt out on totally messing up your sweet garment.
Mm.
And,
Don't understand, man.
as you get up to the observation deck, it's quiet and has seemingly only two people up there that are sitting on a bench and a chair, respectively. One is a portly elf man who has his head back in his chair and is also snoozing very obviously. He's snoring very loudly. And the other is a pixie woman with short blonde hair sitting in the same row as he is, but a few seats away. And, yeah,
Slit their throats.
kill them.
I murder them.
Gain XP.
What is in the room, like besides people?
Oh, it's just like on the sides, like it's sort of it's got like an overhang, and there's a lot of seats in there, and then there's a few that are not on the overhang forward towards the bow, and then on the sides there's like a few telescopes that are mounted on the guardrails, and
Oh,
but
okay.
other than that, there's really nothing.
I guess Van will go out and check the sweet telescopes.
All right.
She's not really a social individual.
Do you look through one or just kind of
Yeah, no, I'll look through it.
See a dragon.
roll a perception check, baby?
Oh, I got a 12.
All
No,
right.
13, sorry. I have one extra.
Oh, better. All right. You look through the telescope. You sort of have to rub away some dust that might have gathered on the lens, and thankfully you don't have to pay to look through it. So
Oh, good.
Deposit a D6.
you just take a glance, and you can see in the water there's something sort of churning around, and but it's sort of hidden by this mist that's already begun to seep around over the top of the water as the sun is gone now, obviously. And you can see something that looks like maybe birds or something moving through the trees that are all sort of, pretty much silhouettes. There's nothing very obvious about them, but as the boat gets closer to them, the lanterns that are mounted on it illuminate moss and everything you'd expect in a sort of river swamp kind of deal.
Cool
And,
bugs.
Yeah, you do see a couple of fireflies sort of gathering around.
See a
towards
million
the edge.
fireflies.
And there you go.
Can't believe your eyes.
Shut your mouth.
I can't believe my eyes.
All right. And Nix, what are you doing? Still pickpocketing?
Yep, I'm certainly enjoying Aqualis's little show. Enrapturing everyone makes them a lot easier to pickpocket. I have quite the earnings at this point in time.
Actually, because of that, since Declan has been doing so well, or has been doing so well, you have actually been able to steal 4 separate pieces of loot, which I'll tell you about right now.
Oh, shit.
Tell her what she's won.
I'll tell you what she's won. She's won a pocket watch, which is silver, and has an emerald set over the cover of it. It looks to be of northern make. Another thing that you've gotten is sort of, it's I guess it's kind of like a photo set in like a gold kind of rim. It's a photo of a man who looks very esteemed.
Very sad.
No, well maybe. It's a guy he's dressed in military regalia, holding a helmet under his arm. It seems to be of also a northern make.
Not cool, Nix.
The
Stealing from a veteran.
picture doesn't matter, but you know the gold around it obviously does. The next thing you're able to pluck is actually a necklace off of the woman's neck, which is made of it's pearls, but at the very end of it is, or at the very, I guess, centerpiece is a blue pearl, which is quite rare and comes from the east. And the last thing that you were able to get so far is a bag of coins, and
Woo!
it's full of southern money.
Alright.
And you got it's, let's see, how much is it? It's 25 Mostrius.
Hope you're writing
Ooh.
that all down, Bodhi.
I did.
Buddy.
Good stuff.
And you wouldn't have been able to get half of that, or any of that, if Declan would have bombed this shit.
Woo, go Declan! Keep
I got
it up.
3 19s for you in a row. I am statistically
proud.
amazing.
Alright. Now then.
Hey, wait, I have one more question. You know that crystal ball compass I have?
Sure do.
Is that,
No.
like, applicable to anything here? Can I, like, use
Yeah, you
it
can.
or examine it or...
Can I go to the mall with it? Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe...
you can look at that if you want.
I'm looking for
sure.
Charlotte.
Do I need to roll perception?
Alright.
Roll for ball.
Wait, Sean,
Yeah,
Buddy.
what?
what do I need to roll?
Oh, you're just looking at it, or?
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of examine it, see what it does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's perception.
Alright. 7.
7.
You know less than you did going in.
Very good.
you know it's a compass, and when you open it up, it seems to point in a couple of different directions rapidly, almost like it's like you're passing over a tectonic plate or something. But you have no really idea what's going on.
Alright,
Idiot.
I put it back, continue relaxing,
You were embarrassed.
quiet atmosphere.
And Declan, we're back to you, buddy. Time
Oh,
to,
am I
Cut
continuing?
back to the laughing, happy songs.
I'm kind of
by now the
setting up.
whole crowd is many of them are smiling, and as you finish this song, there's just loud, ridiculous amounts of cheering from everyone and clapping, and probably more than you've ever heard in any other of your shows.
Woo!
Just the fervency of it, it overcomes your circuits.
As they cheer, I'm like, all right, everybody, remember to check out Deus Ex Machina. We are touring the Eastern month that exists in this world. I say a month.
Wait, what?
I say some month that exists
Oh,
in our
okay.
world. It's the
Yeah, I'll
next
work
month.
that out at some point. And then they cheer even louder. Yeah. You done or what?
Well, where are we at in the night? Where's dinner at?
Oh, dinner's pretty much done now, and
Well, I'm getting ready to get up to leave. This is the trigger for if people clap for an encore in a typical show. I go, "You've been great."
yeah, they obviously.
Happy birthday, Sean!
Woo!
People start cheering encore, encore.
I shrug. I like give a fake like I don't know.
They cheer even more, knowing that you're doing that. And Thatch doesn't seem to know what they're saying, so he just kind of says something close. Concord, Concord, Concord.
Anchors! Rancorous!
He's just really happy to be a part of this crowd, and he wasn't really paying attention to the music, but he's glad to be in part of this community that accepts him and doesn't want to kill him, so he's going along with it.
Well, alright. I mug. Well, let me tell you about a girl back home that I miss. And I hope to play with her again someday when this is over. That's a 20 overall. Still
All right.
good.
Bringing the mood down a little bit.
Hey, bring it down. People aren't quite as crazy.
And I begin to play Honeybee.
Wherever I am in the crowd, I smile and continue to pickpocket, knowing that it's gonna be good.
This cash cow keeps
Just
rolling.
pickpocketing.
I can't help my nature.
All right.
I ring out some melodic slow tunes as the crowd settles.
Okay.
Stop!
Ah!
What happened?
What did you do? I heard
I
that
rolled
from
my
in
dice.
here.
The toilet.
I dropped my knife, but I picked it up. We're okay.
I dropped it into my thigh, but we're okay.
Lost in the valleys of my thighs.
I walked through the valley.
All right, and yeah, people all just sort of watch and sway with you as you play, completely wrapped around your finger.
Twisted.
Some of the women are swooning.
Oh God.
Some of the men are they have their arms crossed and are kind of nodding.
They're jealous.
Very approvingly, like, yeah, this guy's got it.
I give the occasional wink to
Even
the
even
female audience
that
member.
dude from earlier who you called out from the east, who was with the mustache. He seems to have lightened up, and he's warming up to you.
Old mustache, we call him.
Big mustache man. All right.
Now I'm in this?
Maybe. All right. And in the middle of your song, the man in the back, who was sleeping the entire time, he wakes up, he stirs, and screams out, "Ah! Ah!"
Ah!
Everyone stops and looks back at the man.
Down.
The man's standing there with his arms sort of held out, his eyes wide, looking kind of just as surprised as everyone else. And then he sort of looks around. All of a sudden,
We are staring awkwardly back. Do you mind, buddy?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Whew. Sorry. He sits back down.
Are people like booing at all?
They're sort of looking at him and sort of like hissing and whispering at him, like, "Sit down, you idiot! What are you doing?"
No, it's all right, folks. He's, just feeling a little drowsy. I'm feeling a little drowsy myself. Oh, my energy cells are low. That's alarming. I say to myself. That's alarming.
All right. And yeah, he sits back down and he's sort of just focused on the stage now, and but he then gets sort of sidetracked by the people flanking him, who he has no idea who they are. One is a man who is not a man at all; it's actually a gnoll gnawing on a bone, and the other is a very large minotaur guy who. What are you doing, Al? At this point,
I'm still eating.
who is still eating after everyone else. All the other tables have finished long ago, but Thatch and Al, for their respective reasons, Thatch is being a bone, since you can't really eat that really quickly, is still going. And
Can you consume it, period?
Just
You
flat
can chew
on-
it up eventually.
Sweet marrow.
Well,
Right, and Dignan, because, well, he, what's the hurry?
Yeah.
And
Tear rush.
Yeah.
he then just sort of focuses on you, Equalis, and lets you finish out your song until the end.
Resuming. I pick myself back up after coughing. I don't even need to cough. I'm just doing it to make people feel awkward. What kind of robot needs to cough?
All right, everyone, yeah, they all turn their attention back, and up in the observatory, the pixie who was sitting a bit away from the sleeping portly elf man is now scooched a little bit closer towards him.
to make out with him.
Oh,
And-
baby.
And she has her hands sort of folded over her, on her knees, and kind of trying not to look directly at him, but sort of looking a little too attentive for being completely alone.
I
Otherwise-
don't like it. I'm gonna
It's
start
a hit.
Fight. I'm gonna start a fight.
And up the stairs to the observatory, you see a man you do not recognize. It's a kobold wearing glasses, Vane, and he seems to be sobbing.
Oh, Stanley.
Oh. Stanley.
He walks to the front of the ship at the bow and sits there and is just sort of whimpering and crying and saying half jokes to
Oh.
himself before he
Poor guy.
continues whimpering as he goes on.
Where's-
What do you call it? What do you call it?
Where's the steam even come from, you know? Oh, God!
The crows, they got so many feathers.
Oh my gosh, so.
He's just
Wait.
breaking down. The man the elf who was sleeping, sort of jolts up and looks, and the girl who was sort of scooch back to her seat that was further away and looks very attentive and alert.
Well, Vane is kind of awkwarded out by this poor crying man. She's kind of like, she watches him, she wants to do something, but she just doesn't. She just kind of backs away.
Does the Homer Simpson gif where he backs into the bush?
Like I would imagine she's put her hand out like she's gonna say something, but then she kind of retracts it, like And she turns around and kind of like readjusts her sword, I suppose, since I imagine she still has it on her. And I don't.
That's fine. I can look at
Okay. All right. I
Since
don't know what I want to
since
do
you
with these
turn-
people.
Since you turn around, I want you to roll a perception check.
Oh, okay. Oh, 17.
All right. You look into the back of the sort of the overhang, and you see that there looks to be someone else actually in there.
Uh-oh.
And it is a man who is dressed in a cloak and a hood. And wait, is Al gone or what?
Oh, God. Al,
Al, you in here?
you working it?
Al, buddy.
Buddy Al. Al friend unit.
Buddy, oh, pal,
Albity,
oh,
albity,
Al.
albity, 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 albity.
That's all, folks.
That's Al, folks.
That's all for Al.
I made a pun.
I liked it, Bodhi.
How was that?
Thank
Did it?
you.
Al, did it work?
I always like puns. I always like your puns, Bodhi.
Aw.
Alright, look, this isn't. I'm not. Quit it.
This
Gross.
isn't prevalent to him. Just whatever's happening with Vane.
Yeah, alright. Just let me know what's the dealio. With the man in the hat.
The guy in the hat. All right.
There we go. There
Oh.
we go.
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
His eye on him.
He's work.
I'm kidding.
Ew.
It's a joke.
All right, Al, what'd you miss, buddy?
I don't know. What was the last thing you said?
I said something about a man.
A man named Dignahan? No.
No.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about the comedian. He was on the ship.
Yeah, he went up to the second deck.
Yeah,
Did you hear his breakdown?
I did.
It was pretty
Okay.
good.
And yeah, so since then, Vane has turned around from him and has left him to his tears.
I'm a good person, really.
You're a bad person.
And
Look,
she
I don't have any charisma. What am I gonna say to the guy?
Don't say anything. Just go put your hand on his shoulder.
So where are you from?
Oh, this couldn't be more perfect. Oh God, you guys don't even know.
There you go.
All right. Well, anyway, you see. Oh yeah, Al. Mac used a perception thing, and she sees that there's someone else up there on the second deck with her. And you see it's a guy who is dressed. He has a cloak and a hood on, and a sort of.
That's his dad.
And he has a sort of gas mask on, and you can roll a history check if you want to.
Alright, let's do it!
Take your Star Wars.
Oh boy, I got a 23.
All right.
Heck.
You're fully aware that this man is a siphoner, which is someone who gathers gas that collects in pockets in certain regions of the swamp. He obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but he wasn't allowed in the bar because someone who works with gas is probably not going to do too well around people who smoke.
Kill him!
So he's sort of forced to stay out of any place where anyone might smoke. Plus, he smells like oil. So, so yeah, it's just basically a guy with a hood, cloak. It's kind of tattered, wearing leather, and he has a sort of gas mask on, and he's just sort of sitting there in the very back, watching, seemingly watching the pixie and the used to be sleeping elf guy who is now kind of looking over at the weeping comedian before not really giving a damn and kind of starting to drift back off to sleep again.
The Ballad of Stan Stanley.
Can I do an insight check on him?
Uh-huh. For
Right,
what, though?
for why he's staring.
All right.
Actually, maybe I could do it. Do I want to do it on him or the pixie? I feel like she's a shady character.
I am tired of this prejudice against the siphoners, okay? That's their uniform. They're not shady.
I
Just
told
how
the
they
pixie
are.
shady, alright? Not him.
Hey,
Also racist, Mac.
hey.
Cat
Look,
fight.
Bodhi, you've been stealing things all night.
Well,
He's right.
yeah, but that's kind of what I do.
Alright, I'm gonna incite the pixie.
You stole her boyfriend.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh.
Let's go.
You
All
stole
right.
my car.
You look at the pixie and you notice something very similar in her eye, something that you often see in your compatriot who is also very interested in stealing things from people. You know that she is a kindred spirit of Nyx and that she is indeed intending to probably steal something or lift something from this man who is drifting off to sleep alone.
I'm not a racist, but these
So, I
pixies are
think-
kind of shifty.
They're a little shifty.
You
So,
didn't grow up here. You don't know what it's like.
since Vane realizes this, and since she doesn't approve of this, she kind of goes over to the where they're standing, and she kind of like shifts her arm on her large sword and looks at the pixie, and
Your eyes glow extra bright.
yeah, I guess. I mean, I could try to make an intimidate check, but I definitely don't have any buffs on that.
Yeah, you might wanna see where it goes before you screw yourself with a low roll.
Yeah, all right. I'll just walk over there and kind of put my hand on the hilt of my large ass sword and kind of just like look at her with my extra glowing eyes.
You say, "Evening," in that voice.
Howdy.
Evening, madam. How you doing?
The pixie, who seemed to be fixated, looking to her right, seemingly waiting for any moment to sort of move over and begin her work, looks over up at you, and you notice that the man, the siphoner sitting in the back, kind of raises his head a little, catching some glare on one of the lenses of his mask. He sort of shifts. You notice the pixie sort of turn her head and look behind her at the siphoner really quickly, then look back up ahead.
I'm bold.
But she looks very worried, as like she looks behind her as though to say, "What do I do?" And looks back up at you.
Do I notice this?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, all right. So I guess I could just look down at her and be like, move along or something. Something that lets her know that like I'm not okay with what she's obviously about to do.
She sort of curls her lips and kind of gives you the stink eye and asks you, "Why?"
And then I turn to the fat elf man and say, I'm sure he doesn't want to lose any of his possessions today.
Don't interrupt, sir.
Is he still sleeping? I thought he was awake.
No, he was awake, and then he just sort of went straight back.
Okay, well, Vane didn't notice that, so now she just kind of feels like an idiot. And he's sitting there snoring.
I mean, what you said that's not stupid. I mean, you were announcing it to her more than anything, but...
Yeah, she did. Well, she turned to him for like, like reconciliation.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
just
well,
sleeping.
yeah.
Am I right?
But then he's... Actually, yeah, I mean, your perception wasn't that high, so you sort of didn't see him do that.
Just kind of like sit there looking at him like, fuck.
I mean, you could wake him up if you want, I don't know.
Well, I guess I was just gonna kind of see what her reaction was.
Alright. She sort of looks over back at him and looks back up at you and whispers, "Looks like he has enough to me, doesn't he?" And indeed, the elf guy does look like he's from some sort of noble family, as he clearly has one of his watch chains leaving his pocket and going into his shirt. And he's wearing trimmed clothing, and everything looks very nice on him and very clean.
What does she need to do?
Well, Vane's gonna stick to her guns, so she just kind of looks back and gathers herself again and says, I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that.
The pixie sighs and looks away like some teen being told she couldn't go out to a party. And
Young lady.
she sort of lowers her shoulders and floats off in a very Nyx fashion.
Later, dog.
You're all racists.
The siphoner in the back, he now, instead of sitting forward, he sits back and crosses his arms and crosses his legs and puts them up, sort of
crosses
looking...
his body over himself.
He folds in half.
His head shifts off. He otherwise looks either relaxed or kind of maybe let down, maybe dissatisfied or something, and he seems kind of
He wanted to kill her.
done with what was going on.
Oh. Well, then maybe I glance up at him and give him like one of those looks, like I know you have something to do with this, mister.
You don't know anything.
I do, though.
He just stares ahead, his mask giving nothing away. All you hear are some birds, sort of some eldritch sounds coming from the swamp.
Some whimpering from the guy in the corner.
Some whimpering from the guy still over in the bow, crying to himself. Some snoring, and you hear the siphoner's subtle breathing through his mask, as he just kind of looks forward at you with his legs crossed up and on a chair and arms crossed.
I don't like this guy. He's gonna like try to murder me while I turn around.
You interfered.
Yeah, I'm kind of a cunt. Cunt whistle.
You're
Sean.
kind of a cunt.
Thank you. And
That one wasn't as juicy.
it wasn't.
Yeah, my
Okay, how about this one?
cat's still asleep.
Where's that rate on the cat meter?
All right.
Is that a Sweeney Todd song I hear? You're too
No.
good.
Sweet dad. All right.
Alright.
The comedian, he
Show me
Stan
tatties.
Stanley lifts himself up, and he puts both of his hands on either side of the bow, and he looks out the swamp. I can't take this anymore.
Oh no, Stanley,
I'm
no.
gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so wait, he's like gonna jump.
He
Can I,
turns
like-
around and he looks determined to do something very rash.
I gotta go stop him. I gotta grab him before he launches himself off the bow.
Uh-huh.
What do I gotta roll? Athletics?
Well,
Please.
he's not. No, actually, he's not. He's not about to jump off yet. He's just sort of convincing himself aloud to do it. So if you want to save him now, you're gonna have to roll charisma.
Oh my god. Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my charisma modifier? I believe it's negative. It's -1, everybody.
You're gonna make it worse.
I got a 10.
Ah.
All right. Okay. You go up to him, and you sort of. Okay. What did you intend to just do? Like sort of. No, you don't want to do that. You want to live or whatever. Like the.
Yeah, I kind of awkwardly like say that sort of stuff. I can't
You
really
so
put it from my
much-
brain to my mouth.
Yeah,
It's-
you kind of. No, you live for. You
The
live-
way I thought it was like, as she goes to call out, it comes out like a question, like, don't?
I like that. Don't.
He turns around and looks at you. Why not?
Did she have to roll again?
She just stands there.
No, this is a
Because?
this is a conversation actually.
Okay.
She's kind of like thinking for a little too long, like what to put into these words, and she's like, you have things to live for.
In your life?
He gestures over exaggeratingly towards the way up to the second deck. Did you see what happened in there? I was laughed off stage if I wasn't being booed off stage.
She just kind of thinks back to all the people in her party that were probably in there laughing at it.
Oh, you sons of bitches.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta, like, everything she says is, like, pretty serious. She just can't, like, form sentences very well when it comes to serious matters. Like, she's awkward about it. She's like, I'm sure they weren't really
Laughing at you.
laughing at you.
That's the point. They weren't.
Oh.
They needed to be. He sort of crumples into himself and starts sobbing again. Oh God, that was horrible. Oh. You want to hear a
Kinda
joke?
like- and then she scratches her head. She's like, tell me one.
Oh, really? Really?
Get your
Really?
bluff ready.
Hesitantly.
Get your bluff check ready.
Fuck.
You really want to hear a joke?
She nods.
Grimacing.
Okay. Oh, really?
Just keep asking.
She nods again.
Okay. All right.
Puts her hand on her hip and braces herself.
All right. Okay. Were you in there before? Or?
She shakes her head no.
No.
Oh, perfect, he says to himself. Turns and he says, okay, you're gonna like this one. This is my first joke. All right. Okay. All right. What do you call a Mostrian vacationing in the north.
She just kind of looks at him and blinks. What?
He's staring at you with his mouth open and a big grin, sort of expectantly.
Mouth open.
He's like, you, hold on, this is even too funny for me. A Frostrian. And he opens his mouth really, really wide, still smiling, looking at you.
Okay, here we go. Bluff check.
Yep, you got a bluff check.
Oh god, I just choked my die out.
It flew into my mouth. Oh, I swallowed it.
Oh god, where did it go? Oh, here we go. Let me re-roll that real fast.
Yeah.
Can Chef Gordon save this kitchen nightmare?
Ooh, I got a 17.
Minus
Oh,
what?
my.
Minus nothing. I have
Oh.
no bluff, but it's a straight 17.
Hmm.
So I can like try to muster up fake emotion. Like Vane already has enough issues with emotion.
You gotta laugh.
You
I feel
channel
like it would just
Dignan.
be one or two really awkward, overly loud laughs. Just
Mhm.
ha,
Just-
ha.
Just quiet for a second, blinks, and then she just like realized she's like, oh my god, I gotta laugh. That was funny.
The man looks at you with stars in his eyes. His mouth is still not closed. As he's just staring. He's like, you really like it? And by the way, your laugh woke up the elf guy again, who is now staring at both of you, kind of questioningly. The man, the siphoner in the back, is still sort of sitting there. He doesn't seem interested.
Fuck you too, buddy. She nods, kind of scratches the back of her head again. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. How about another one?
she just kind of looks at him. Oh, she looks down the stairs. I need to go find some.
The man immediately
friends.
begins frowning.
Okay, all right, one more.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Okay.
Very good.
This is my second joke. All right. You ready?
She nods again, slowly this time.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. What do you call a bird with no feathers?
She just kind of looks at him and shrugs.
Nothing in the south.
Whew, do I have to roll another bluff check?
Yep. This one's even worse. Actually, oh yeah, actually, you have to add a -5 to that.
5.
Man, are you kidding? I rolled
Mhm.
so low. I rolled a 7.
Oh shit.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'm not from the South. I don't understand.
You don't know what to do, so you reach out and strangle him to death. Ah!
All right, so you roll a 2.
I rolled a 2.
At least it wasn't a natural 1, because that would have been something else.
Put him over.
But it's still almost as bad. He just
jeez.
stares at you. His mouth is still open, but now it is gone to an immense frown. And he is just. Wait, is Al freaking out again?
Is he?
I heard
Yep.
him.
Oh, god damn it, Al.
Doesn't matter.
Keep going.
All right, and he just sort of stares at you. And he's like, "You were lying. You didn't like the other one either, did you?"
Vane kind of like hesitates and like
You-
sputters out a few.
You didn't like.
Tell him that this one was just harder to get. Do constructive criticism.
Alright, she gets all serious. She's like, I'm from the West.
Oh, the West, huh? Well, I got a joke for you. All right, lady, get your earbuds ready.
She's just kind of like frowning at this point, like she's so scared of anything he's gonna say, but
Okay.
she's really doesn't know how to react.
Okay. All right.
Alright, here I hear Sean's gleaming laugh.
That was just in time for the next joke.
This is my third joke. All right.
I like how he prefaces it with that every time. Oh, is that what joke we're on? I couldn't count.
Okay. What do you call a horse that's been adopted from the west to the south? A nightmare.
I got a 15.
All right.
Hey.
Pull it off.
Yay!
Yeah, you do the sort of a similar thing as before.
Maybe I just like kind of do like a more hearty laugh and like pat him.
Okay, you guys, okay, dinner's right now.
Uh-huh. We have to eat at the table. You have to eat with the family like a faggot.
I'm gonna go eat that.
All right.
How long is that gonna take, Al?
I don't know. Probably not too long, but
Oh, we're actually almost done for today.
okay. Well, okay. How much longer do we have in the thing? Because if we can do that and not interrupt.
It's actually pretty much close to being done.
Okay, do this. I'll say this.
All right. So you're sticking around.
Yeah, I'm still.
Okay. So, yeah, you sort of conjure up a laugh as before, and yeah, he responds well to it, and since you got 2 out of 3, he sighs. He kind of goes, oh, oh man, for a second there, can you believe I was actually considering jumping in there and becoming gator food?
You immediately say yes. Ah, shit.
She puts her hand on his shoulder and just kind of smiles, like a forced smile.
Yes, I'll go out with you.
He looks down at your hand and looks back up at you, and he starts to blush.
Oh no.
So you really like those jokes, huh?
She frowns immediately.
This guy's a brony.
Ew. She
You don't have to make any bluff checks or anything. You can,
She puts her hand back on her sword, like immediately takes it off of his shoulder.
The elf guy sort of laughs.
Now that's funny.
She like spins around and like shoots him this really, really terrible glare.
Shoots him.
She's like, you don't even know what the fuck I just went through.
Stan Stanley looks over at the hardy elf man, who seems to be laughing a little too much at this, and he seems to regain some of his glow as he makes his way over towards the elf man. Hey buddy, you want to hear a joke? And the elf man, he looks at him kind of with an odd raised brow. I suppose so. It couldn't hurt.
Yes.
No.
Run!
Yeah, you can leave if you want.
I want to know what's up with this masked man.
Actually, oh yeah, right. The masked man, he sort of stands up. And,
he claps sometimes.
No. He stands up and he starts to make his way towards the exit, walking down the way he came, sort of following after where his pixie friend went.
Can I follow him?
If you wanna.
I'm gonna follow him.
Also, Al, this is very dependent on what everyone else chooses, so it's probably might be longer than what you think.
Okay, so should I go?
Yeah, you just go.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Just hurry it up.
Oh boy.
See ya in a bit.
Oh, like he's gonna return and we'll still be playing?
Well, I hope.
Alright. I mean, it'll be recorded.
I mean, I wasn't counting him out. I was expecting him to come back when we finish, so.
Well, let's take our time. Let's get into it.
Alright.
Yeah, so after that terrifying escapade of having to show way too many false emotions, which was awful on Vane, by the way, that was terrible.